Hi, this is Mr. Capert. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the layout for your drone, the very beginning, so that you get all the dimensions correct. So you want to do a new design, and you want to start a sketch. Doesn't matter which plane you pick. I know a lot of you guys like to change the grid lines. You could do that if you want. I don't think it's necessary at all, but the one thing I would change for this project, I've been using millimeters. So it changes to millimeters. All right, next step, I would make a rectangle. Remember, you can use R, the shortcut, or click on rectangle right here. 2-point rectangle. It actually doesn't really matter which type you do. You want it to be 70 millimeters. So 70, hit the tab button, 70, enter. Now this is going to help with the placement of all of the motors. The motors need to be spaced out by about 70 millimeters. So I'm going to use this as construction lines, imaginary lines to help me out. So I'm going to click on each one of these and hit the X button to make them construction or imaginary lines that help us set this all up. Then I'm going to do C for circle, or remember you can find circle right here. And the motors are a little more than 6 millimeters in diameter. So I would do 6, and we're gonna have a trick here to make this fit real snug. And then around it you need plastic, and I would do 10. So that way you have 2 millimeters of plastic all the way around. And you're gonna do the same thing for all of these as well. Just get it approximate. I'm gonna show you a trick. And this is a nice little trick I'm going to show you, because if you change one of these, then all the other ones will adjust. So what you want to do is use the equal. So you want to say that the diameter of this circle is equal to that inner one that we dimensioned before. And then you want to say this one is equal to that inner diameter one. And this one is equal to that. So you always have to hit the one that you want to change first, and then hit the matching circle. Now we want to do the same thing. I want the diameter of this one to be the same as that outer one. I want the diameter of this one to be the same as the outer one. I want the diameter of this to be the same as the outer one. And what's nice about this is if you were to change this dimension, let's say the motor size changed, which that's what happened to me, is I bought multiple motors that have changed in size. If you double clicked and changed the dimension on there, all 4 would change at the same time. Now, I also like to put a line going diagonally. You don't have to do this. I kind of like doing that to help break this up. And then I also X these out. So I'll choose it, hit X to make a construction line. Choose it, hit X to make a construction line. So now you got the general layout of the motors. Next step is these holes for the flight controller. So C for circle, or if you forget that, you can go up here and go to circle, diameter circle. So you're going to put these at approximately here. 3 millimeters will fit the bolt through really nicely. That's going to hold on your flight controller. C for circle, again, the shortcut is C, 3 millimeters. And then you want this to be in the center to balance out the drone, to keep this flight controller in the very center. So I'm going to hit D for dimension, and I'm going to dimension from this corner down to the center here. Oh, worked out, 35, because that would be halfway between. Remember, this was 70. Same thing with this circle. From there is 35. And then you want to dimension between the two, and what I told you, the spacing on the holes in the flight controller enclosure is 35 millimeters. All right, and then I will let you guys do the math to center this. So figure out what this number needs to be in order to center these. I'll leave that up to you. I don't want to do everything for you guys, so figure that out. Now that is not the right number, so that's why I'm going to delete it in the video so you don't copy it. Now, the last thing I want to show you in this video is how to do what I'm calling a pressure relief gap. This is so that if the motor is too big, this plastic will flex. And that's really what we actually want to have, is where this diameter is smaller than the motor, and then this thing flexing will tighten down on the motor. So you want to put a slot going through here. It doesn't matter where you put this. Maybe the easiest way is to go out this direction. I would make that a construction line as well. Hit X. You're going to do that for, oh, there already was construction line. X again, my bad. It's hard to see. Then you're going to do L for line and make a line up above it. L for line down below. These shouldn't be construction lines. Sometimes this does it to you. So click on it, hit X. Click on it, hit X. Now, I made my gap 1 millimeter. So if you go from the center point to that line, I'm not having much luck here. I'm going to hit escape. Anytime things start messing up, just hit escape. I want this to be 1/2 a millimeter. And then I want from this one to this one to then be 1 millimeter. And then to make this gap, you need to use the trim tool, so T for trim, and get rid of this plastic right in through there. So that's how you get that gap. So the motor, if it's too big, which it is, I should have trained, this thing will open up a little bit to accommodate that motor in there. So you're obviously going to want to do the same pressure gap, relief gap to all of these other ones. And then once again, you need to figure out the math to center these holes. Good luck.